Dog Training Elite. We are a mobile dog training company. We got our start about 45 years ago now. John Mestis, our founder, started us all out with hunting training. He specialized in advanced field training and hunting work, and had a kennel operation for that. He soon discovered that there was a need for training just for the general public, for pets. And so that's kind of when we pivoted and transitioned into the role that we do now, where we go to our clients and train in their homes. We really do focus on that client. So while we work with dogs every day, our focus is the clients first. We're a very customer forward company. So we like to think of ourselves as teachers just as much as we are trainers. So we like to, we go into the client's home and we teach them to train their dog. So that's one of the things that really sets us apart from everybody else. We do offer a very personalized training experience right in their home. Not only does that make it more accessible for the client, but it also makes it easier on the dog, and we're able to address any of those problems right where they exist. We do pride ourselves on outstanding customer service, and I hope all of our clients would say they experience that from the very first call to the very first last training session. And we do work with dogs of all different breeds, ages, and disabilities. You can teach an old dog new tricks. So we believe that all dogs, whether they're puppies or 10 years old, can still learn some new things and get freedom in life. One of the things, another thing that does kind of set us apart is our advanced modalities that we offer. So we do offer 7 different dog training services, from basic obedience and puppy classes, all the way up to therapy dogs and service dogs. And some of our locations even offer personal protection training, which is a lot of fun. We definitely address some of that behavioral modification. So we do work with dogs who are anxious, dogs who have some aggression that they need some help overcoming. And we offer small group classes as well. We are really excited. We have some really great packages that focus on service training for our military and retired veterans that we really enjoy doing. All of our owners offer obedience and puppy classes, and then they kind of get to pick what they specialize in after that. Most new owners start with 1 to 2 advanced modalities, but I will say almost all of them now offer everything on this list because they really get into it and just want to keep expanding their services. Excuse me. So I went over a little bit our story, but you can definitely see, in every step, every time we've kind of pivoted, it's been to focus more on that client experience. And that lands us exactly where we're at right now. One of the reasons our franchise owners are so successful is because they're able to offer that personalized in-home experience and able to do so with very little overhead. Most of our franchise owners, their only real expenses every month is marketing and their vehicle. And of course, taking care of their dogs, and our dogs are our co-owners here, so they get lots of care. But they've been able to expand quickly. So as you can see, we're at 35 territories now across 7 states, and the majority of those are multi-unit franchise owners. There is a really high demand for our industry, and it proved to be quite recession resilient during COVID. The pet industry is growing at a steady rate of 7.8% each year, and it is expected to hit $283 billion by 2023. And we are definitely poised to take advantage of that and be able to help people with their pets. There were, as you can see some of the data there, lots and lots of pet adoptions during 2020, with our COVID puppies, as we call them. And so not only did it keep us quite busy all throughout the COVID pandemic of 2020, but we're seeing a whole different surge now of demand as people are returning to the workplace and needing some training with their pet now that they're having to leave them at home, particularly with some behavioral concerns and some separation anxiety as well. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, we are a home-based service. So that means we have no build out. This means our owners can get up and running as soon as 4 to 6 weeks. Charlotte, North Carolina just opened up last year, beginning of this year. And they were definitely our fastest ramp up from signing to opening was just over 4 weeks. So you are able to get going quickly and get that return on your investment sooner. And as I mentioned before, there's a very low overhead. As one of the things that makes us a little bit different than some other companies as well is we don't need as many clients. There aren't as many clients required. So our average training package is about $1,800. This is very personalized, very specialized. So you can have a high revenue without having to have a high number of clients at any given time. Our estimate, depending on your area, is anywhere from 2 to 4 added clients per week, and you'll continue to be profitable. And obviously, there is never a shortage of dogs to train. 2020 has made that even more so. But in all of our areas, there are always some dogs that need a little extra help. Our business is incredibly scalable. I mentioned earlier that the majority of our owners are multi-unit. And the reason is if you decide to grow within your territory, you're able to do so quickly. Really, the only thing you have to add is add to some additional trainers to be able to take on the demand of those dogs and work with a marketing team to turn on marketing in those areas. It's quick and easy to scale your brand with Dog Training Elite. We are really big on community involvement here. We encourage all of our owners to be invested and involved in their communities and giving back to their communities. One of the ways that we do this is through the Malinois Foundation. The Malinois Foundation was founded by Dog Training Elites, some of our team here, and it is a 501c3 that's mission is to get service dogs in the hands of individuals who need them and cannot afford them. So our franchise owners get to nominate individuals in their communities through the program and then be able to provide that dog training to them. So it gives you a way to give back and save lives at the same time. The investment breakdown. We do have a pretty low initial investment range. Again, that's that low overhead, no build out needed. The biggest changes between a single territory and 5 territory is just the size of that territory. The amount of items you need, your original expenses don't vary a whole lot between that because again, it's just a person, a dog, and a car. So that range there is particularly looking at the territory size. We do show high revenues here at Dog Training Elite. Again, combination of that low overhead and the high ticket value of the services that we offer. You can see our top performer. This is 2019. Our 2020 numbers should be coming out here anytime, and I'm excited for that. But 2019, just over $500,000 in dog training revenue. With our average coming in just above 400,000. One of the things I love most is seeing this year-over-year sales growth, though, for all of our locations as they're able to scale and add to their team. So who are we looking for? We are proudly pretty picky here at Dog Training Elite about who we bring on as candidates. As I mentioned before, we are a customer service-based brand. So it's really important for us that whoever we bring on has a passion for dogs, but also a passion for people and empowering people to have a better life with their dogs. That being said, we can have an owner operator or semi-absentee. The majority of our owners do fall under that owner operator, but we do currently have 2 semi-absentee owners who are doing quite well and continue to scale their business. We are looking for people who have a sales or teaching background. Business management experience is helpful, obviously, in any new business. We're looking for individuals who are self-motivated and have outstanding customer service skills. Communication skills are obviously a must. Not only do we have to communicate with our clients, but we also have to learn how to communicate with dogs. And those are two very different things. We're looking for people with a strong sense of leadership. Again, that's important in your business and as a dog trainer. Willingness to follow our proven system, and people who are community and family oriented. What does a day in the life look like? Well, it really depends on what your role is in our business. For our owner operators, most of them are conducting those training sessions themselves, scheduling appointments, hiring and training new trainers. We've seen with most of our owner operators, as they scale and add staff, they usually add those administrative staff first and keep on training themselves, because that's why they're doing what they're doing. For our semi-absentee owners, they're running the business. They're making sure everything's running smoothly. They're making sure they have a great training manager who can oversee the trainers. Working on those marketing and community relationships and expanding the business into multiple territories. We do provide quite a bit of training here at Dog Training Elite. So when you come out and work with us, we do spend 2 full weeks, and they're pretty intensive weeks. So you're learning everything from running the business to training dogs. So we're training with you with your own dog. You're going on appointments, working with clients and their dogs, group classes. So we really want to teach you all you need to know to get your business up and off the ground. We then come out to you for a week and spend time training in your territory as well, going on those first appointments with you and launching your first event. We do offer quite a bit of support here at Dog Training Elite, and I hope as you work through this process and get into those validation calls with our owners that they would all tell you the same. We provide ongoing phone and technical support, advanced training support. A lot of our owners, as I mentioned, want to end up offering all of those training modalities. So they do come back quite often and spend time with us learning how to do those things. We do offer territory visits. We have an annual convention every year. Our next one coming up here is in April. And at that time, we learn new training modalities. We explore new training packages. We focus on marketing, sales techniques. So it's all about building your business at those annual conventions. And we do offer grand opening and ongoing marketing support as well. Our education process is very similar to others. Once you work through that FDD and market research, we do have another private call then with me to answer any last questions you have regarding those first few steps. One of the really important things for us is that peer review. So we recommend you listen to all of the calls you'll have access to, reach out to franchise owners that you might think identify with you best, whether it's territory size, location, previous work experience. We do offer you to come on out for Discovery Day after that. Our Discovery Day is very hands-on. So you get to go on appointments, you get to see a group class. We want you to experience what a day in the life would be like. Assuming all goes well, we meet the executive team and then a franchise awarded after that point. So just to recap, we are America's #1 dog training franchise. We do have semi-absentee ownership options as well. We do offer a low cost of entry because of our home-based business that is incredibly scalable. You can make quick ROI with our business, and at the end of the day, it is a highly rewarding career. Okay, guys, that was my spiel. Thank you so much for hanging in and listening through that. Again, I apologize that I was a little bit late and didn't have that connectivity. So thank you, Charlotte, for sharing those slides for me. I truly appreciate it. And I would love to take some time here to answer any questions you might
have. Yeah, I do have a few questions. So how large are the territories then?
A single unit is roughly 250,000 people.
Okay. Okay. Do you know if they ran My Territory yet, or is it is there just one franchisee per territory then?
We do try to just have, one franchise owner in each. There's definitely one franchise owner in each territory. We try to give our franchise owners the ability to scale as well within their area before we bring other people in. Kyle, can you speak specifically to this territory?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jennifer, what was your question on, I see here you're in Ohio, is that right?
Yes, I'm in North Cincinnati.
Okay.
So like a zip code to run would be 45040.
Yeah, so as soon as we go through this education process together, that would be done during the market research step in the process. So we'll be able to map out the territory, based on the population counts and taking a look at household incomes and that sort of thing. But
So
you would be first in that area, so you would be able to kind of pick and choose whatever zip codes you would want included. It would just need to be continuous zip codes for the territory of roughly 250,000 population.
okay, so they have confirmed that there's no one currently in my area. I'm sorry, I just learned about you guys yesterday, late yesterday, through my consultant. So I haven't had a chance to review, like do a location search or anything.
No worries, Jennifer. There is no one in your area as of yet.
Okay. All right, great. And I would imagine the gross average revenues that you shared were for multi-unit territories, since that's the majority of your ownership. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay.
At the time in 2019, when those numbers are being pulled from, all of our owners were multi-unit. So the FDD, which should be updated, and I imagine the one you'll have access to once you reach that stage, will include some single units in there as well. So you'll get to see that information at that time.
Okay, yeah, that was going to be my question, is what a single unit breakdown would be. And then what percentage of your owners had previous dog training experience versus those who didn't?
So of all 13 owners that we currently have, only one had dog training experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Could I bring my own dog to training?
Yes, absolutely. That's actually a requirement. So when you come out and train with us, we do require you bring your dog. And so we go through that whole process, not only of you learning with your dog, but you experiencing what a customer will experience with your dog. We feel like that's a really important part of it.
Okay. Yeah, my dog would be a challenge. He failed out of service dog training. And so that's why we got to adopt him in the first place. And I've taken him to training. Before, he was actually pretty easy to do the basics with, but he's very strong-willed, and he didn't do well in his obedience training either. So,
well, it sounds like he'll be a good dog to learn with.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking, for my previous, I owned a business before that I sold in May. And I got a lot of business from my neighbors. And I was just thinking, like, I don't know that Leonard would be the best demo dog unless I got him trained really well.
Well, we definitely help with training. And then if for any reason Leonard still isn't quite the best demo dog for you, we do help you identify the right dog, the right breed for that job. So either way, we'll have you covered there.
Okay. Okay. And then is there a certain type of vehicle you require?
Nope. Any type of vehicle works. We do just require that you have our vehicle wrap on it, but they're designed per vehicle. So we're definitely open there. Okay.
And then what kind of support structure do you have in place there in your home office? So if I were to create like a postcard mailer or a door hanger or something, say I had an idea for that, would you guys have an in-house staff that would create that at no charge, and then I would just have to pay for the printing and distribution?
Yes, that is correct. So yeah, our digital marketing team, that is all stuff we design and put out for you. We love new ideas, new programs, new stuff coming from our franchise owners. So that's fantastic. Yep. So we would just have you send that over. We would execute on it, and then you'd be able to order it.
Okay. Do you have, as part of that team, someone who specializes in like Google local and SEO?
We do. The company we use is Ninth Root. They specialize in franchise systems, so they work with all of our owners, and they do SEO, Google, pay-per-clicks, and social media marketing.
Okay, sorry, what was their name again?
Ninth Root, Ninth Root. Mm-hmm.
Ninth Root. Okay. All right. And trying to think what else. You said I kind of missed what or wasn't clear on the call. You have a call center, like a central call center, or all the calls go local?
We do encourage you to have all your calls go local. We do have that option if owners wish to have us answering and fielding calls. We can do that. We encourage our owners to go local, one, because you still seem like a small local business when your office staff can relate to areas, neighborhoods, streets, and so we do encourage you to do that. But if any owners would choose not to, we can provide that as support at an additional cost.
Okay. So I know you've had 20 years of experience. How long have you been franchising?
We have been franchising for 10 years.
Okay. And you have 13 owners?
Yes.
Okay. And then, let me see. I'm gonna ask something else. What other like systems do you offer? Do you offer like a customer management system?
We do. We have a CRM.
Mhm.
We have an electronic signature system, and we have an online academy for our franchise owners and their employees to access with training webinars, walkthroughs on the administrative systems that we use. And so it's a quite robust online academy as well.
Is that like a custom platform? Is that like built on like a Vonago, or what is?
It's built on, for our online academy is built on Learning Zen.
Okay. What about the CRM?
Our CRM is through Fresh Sale.
Fresh Sale, okay. And then you said that the typical spend or training package is $1,800. How long of a program is that? How many hours are you with that dog for the $1,800?
You're with the dog for 5 private sessions. Each are about an hour. So you're going to be investing about an hour or 5 hours of private time with that client. They then have access to group classes for 4 months after. And those group classes are being held at local parks, and there's multiple dogs there. So those are 1 hour each week as well that your trainer would be at that class. So it really ranges how often people attend those group classes, but basically you're there anyway. So it's 5 dedicated hours to that person and then access to group classes.
Okay. But essentially they're paying then $360 per hour for training?
Yeah, the breakdown is about $200 per hour for private training, and then about $20 per hour for group class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm taking notes.
That's okay.
So, there's a lot of like the, I would imagine obviously the competitive advantage you offer is the going to the home, and then that it's private. So, how would you say like that pricing compares to other people who are doing the same thing that you're doing?
Our pricing is very competitive with people with other dog training that is on our par. So our obedience is competitive. Our service dog training is actually, I would say, a bit lower than our competitors, and that is actually by design. For us, it has always been really important that people who need service dogs can access service dog. So our program was built out to make sure it was affordable for the general public while still profitable for our owners. So I will tell you, the majority of our franchise systems, our franchise owners, a lot of their business is from those advanced modalities. It's particularly service dog training. So Denver's a really good example. I mean, their market was incredibly saturated with dog trainers, as you might imagine, but not service dog trainers. And so they're thriving in that arena. So that's something during that market research phase I would really encourage you to look at when don't just look at other trainers. You definitely want to in their pricing, but focus on if they're offering any of those advanced services.
Okay. And then, yeah, I mean, for that price, I mean, if I were paying that amount, I would probably want some sort of guarantee. I mean, is that something that you offer? I don't know.
We can't offer a guarantee, Jennifer, because we can't guarantee that the owners are going to follow.
What kind of, right, or the dog.
There's not a dog that we can't help. It's the owners that can't guarantee will follow through. But we do, for our owners, we do offer like lifetime support. So if 6 months from now they're struggling again, they can give us a call. We can walk through that again with them on how to support that. They can come out to group classes. So we do offer support to them forever. We just can't guarantee that, like a refund, if they're not going to do their portion of that commitment.
How many locations have you had to close?
None. We had one transfer, and it was because the franchise owner's mother got really sick on the other side of the country, and he had to move. And actually, one of his clients ended up purchasing his franchise. So we've had one transfer. That's it.
Okay. Before you enter an area, do you kind of look at the competition in that area? Does that come into play at all? Like, I have a lot of like long-standing dog training groups here in Cincinnati, like where I'm located, that have really good reviews, lots of reviews. Just wondering, how you evaluate the territories.
Yeah, so we always look at that, but honestly, most of the time it's not that big of an issue for us. So I can tell you, in every territory that we exist in, Sit Means Sit exists there, and Off Leash Canine. And so we know quite a bit about those brands and what they offer. And I know that's the same thing in Cincinnati. I'm actually, I'm from Waynesville, Ohio, so I'm not.
Oh yeah, you're right by me. I go there. My parents live in Bellbrook, so I go through there all the time.
Oh, okay. So I'm actually quite familiar with the trainer in your area, and done some market research there. So there are some good trainers. Again, but that's the case every single place we exist. I mean, there are some really good dog trainers. So what I would recommend definitely is specializing in service dogs, and offering something a little bit different. The majority of trainers that most people consider our biggest competitors, again, going to Sit Means Sit and Off Leash Canine, offer a boot camp style training. So looking at that's really important too. A lot of them take the dogs and then return the dogs. We don't do that. We don't feel like it works. It doesn't include the owner in the process. So I just encourage you during that market research to really break it down, and make. A lot of the times dog people you might see as competitors aren't true competitors. So make sure you're looking at whether they're coming to the home and what advanced offerings they have.
Yeah. And then what would you say is like an average income for your customers?
So for our obedient customers, I would say 40,000 up is probably a reasonable thing to look at. For our service dog customers, that's actually a really interesting one. We see service dog customers more from all walks of life. And it's because it's one of those things, if they need a service dog, they find a way, whether mom's paying for it, grandpa, families are chipping in. So there really isn't like a dollar range I can put it for service, but for obedience, yeah, we're definitely looking for middle to upper class for our obedience packages.
So when you say specializing in service dogs, because when I think about service dogs, I think about, you know, someone has a need and then they go to an organization that will give them, or, you know, they can get an actual trained dog. Like we have, if you've done research in this area, where I got Leonard, it's called Circle Tail. And so they train the dogs there. And, you know, so are you saying like people have their own dog that they then decide they want to promote as a service dog? Like they want them to gain those skills, or?
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Jennifer. So we're really a solution to when those other organizations fail. So, I mean, most organizations, like where you go and get the dog, there's either a 5-year wait list. The dogs are $20,000 to $50,000. And then you're having to bridge that gap, like getting the dog to bond to the owner after it's been trained by somebody else for years. And so it can be very problematic. So our service dog training is a completely different solution for people. So if someone has their own dog, we evaluate their dog. If it's a good fit for service dog training, we provide that training the exact same way we do our other training. It's in the home, and then it's in the community. So we're training at grocery stores, movie theaters, airports, the places they're going to be working with their dog. If they don't have a dog already, we assist in helping them find a dog. So we help them find the right dog, identify the right breed, do some puppy tests, temperament testing with some litters. But they raise the dog, and we again come into the home, provide the training. So it gives people an accessibility to service animals in their area that they'd never had before. And so that's why even like, comparing service dog training to service dog training, we're not raising dogs, we're not training dogs for people. We believe for a service dog to be a great service dog, they need to be a part of that process with the dog. So it's still that low overhead, in-home, private experience.
Got it. So I would imagine then you have like marketing materials geared directly for that segment. And how do you gain or get the word out there to those people?
Absolutely. So honestly, the very best way is just Google and Facebook marketing. So many people need service dogs, and the keywords that people search for trying to find a service dog every day is astronomical. So we do a lot of online marketing, but there are definitely events you can do. So if you're marketing your PTSD service dog program, we go out to a veteran event, and yes, we have lots of pamphlets for that. If it's our autism support program, maybe we go to an autism support group or a school or a counseling center. So yeah, we definitely have marketing plans and collateral for each individual service dog modality.
Okay. So you had mentioned Facebook marketing. So I just did, and maybe I'm in the wrong spot, but I did a search on Dog Training Elite and I found your page. It looks like it was just created though in August, the one that I'm looking at, and only has like 200 people, and there's no posts on it except for like the profile picture. Am I looking at the wrong thing, or?
That's just kind of our landing page for all of the locations. So every location has their own Facebook page. So if you search Dog Training Elite, I'm trying to think who's closest to you right now, it'd either be Des Moines or St. Louis. You'll see they have their own pages. We tie them all together so we can push out corporate posts and stuff when needed, but we encourage our owners to have those very personal pictures. So a picture of your dog in front of the Red Stadium, a picture, so people know, hey, I'm local, I'm here. So our owners do manage their own posts and content. Ninth Root can run ads and analytics for them.
Okay. Well, I think that's all the questions I have right now. yeah, for now, that's all I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, keep them coming. Yeah, keep that list going as you work through this process. I'm sure more questions will pop up, and we're always here to answer them.
Okay, great. I appreciate your time.
Of course. Thanks, Jennifer.
Okay,
Does-
thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions I can answer that weren't covered? Okay, perfect. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I will let everybody go. Good luck working through this process. I'm really excited for you to learn more about our brand. And as I said, keep the questions coming. We're happy to answer them.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.